Hey folks, Papa Boris here, playing some more leaders. We're up against a pretty tough player here. 271 ELO is really serious business. So, Médéric, a French player. I'm always a little bit intimidated by the French players as well, because this game is mostly French players. Since it seems to have, well, since it came from France, it's from a French designer, and that seems to, for some reason, have an impact on the audience. Kind of like, with StarCraft, you're always afraid of Korean players. With leaders, you're afraid of the French. So let's see what Médéric wants to do. I think probably most players here would step forward, grab the Royal Guard. Royal Guard's just such a strong draft on the first turn because you can like charge in and be aggressive and then maybe win the game. But if you don't, you just teleport it back, and then there's no cost to it. So that is tough. And I got some Jankos over here, so we'll step up as well. Even though the guard is coming, we'll grab the Bruiser, who's a very strong character. And, okay, we do get a little bit lucky here with the Claw. So let's think about what's likely to happen here. Back here is not maybe the best position for the Claw, simply because the Royal Guard is probably going to be here on its turn. So there's really not much I can do with it. We'll just stick it over here and maybe step up and cut off the lane. What I'm really nervous about whenever I take a card is for the Vizier to show up. When the opponent has the Royal Guard and the Vizier, it's really, really dangerous, and there's a lot of stuff that you have to keep an eye out, because the leader can, like, easily spawn the Royal Guard next to your leader, or if it's early enough, they could just jump up to your leader and win on the spot. Royal Guard is also annoying because it can jump in front of the leader and block claw moves, so that can be kind of frustrating as well. But hey, we're doing the best with what we got here. I think my opponent's wondering if they should take the Manipulator or the Protector. The Protector, of course, can kind of counter the Bruiser, but the Manipulator is maybe the stronger character overall. My opponent chooses the Manipulator, which is interesting, so now it kind of stops the Bruiser from making a natural move. If I go here, I think my opponent probably will use the Manipulator just to push the Bruiser back, so that can be a tricky thing to deal with. Now we have the Illusionist, which is lucky. Illusionist plus Claw Launcher is just so frustrating to play against because there's so many possibilities that you have to constantly be watching out for. What I'm going to do is just kind of play it dumb. We're going to move up with the Bruiser just to avoid getting caught in the Manipulator's crosshairs. The main thing I have to ask myself is, with the Claw, do I want to step up and threaten the leader, or do I want to step diagonally and stop the leader from going? Yeah, let's step up like this. I think it's nice to have it cutting across like that. And then the question is, where do we want to put the Illusionist? I could put it here and just try to do like a crisscrossing thing, or I could do like a weird move where I put it here and swap with the Claw. But the problem is, like, that is cool. Like, I could swap with it and then claw up, but this is the Manipulator, so the Manipulator could make my Illusionist like move down to the corner, which is not great. Now, if I had wanted to do that, maybe I should have put the Bruiser in front and then done this. Then that's actually really interesting. Maybe then my opponent couldn't have like pulled my Bruiser back, because then I could swap with the Claw and then claw up here. But my opponent could also have still pulled the Bruiser away and then just put the Royal Guard in front of my Illusionist to stop the shenanigans. All right, yeah, let's just let's think, do I want the Illusionist over here, same side, cutting across, or do I want it to make like a crisscross with the Claw? Let's go ahead and do this. I think this has some potential, because then if I can move my Claw up to here, then eventually I can swap. I can try to coordinate. Oh, I'm not happy about this. The Acrobat, oh boy, that can now provide an extra character to cheat their way up to my leader. And I am not pleased. This is extremely threatening at this point. They can set up, like, they can put like the Acrobat here and the Manipulator here and the leader, and the Royal Guard here, and then just the Acrobat swoops in twice. So now I'm in a pretty threatening spot. Because yeah, they don't even need to put the leader in harm's way. They can just like put the leader off like this. Yeah, this is totally fine. Although now there's a little bit of a problem, actually. No, thankfully, oh, thank God for the Claw. Yeah, they have, okay, they'll put the Acrobat here, I bet. Acrobat here, Royal Guard teleports, jumps here, Acrobat goes boing boing, and then, yeah, it's not good. And I can't really even stop that, actually. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh no. Maybe if there had been some way that I could have been more threatening. But I can't put a piece here, unfortunately. There's, like, you know, my bruiser is just too slow. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh boy. Okay, I got admittedly extremely lucky here with the jailer, because what I could do is I could spawn the jailer here to stop the royal guard, which also stops the acrobat from doing a double jump. To be fair, that was ridiculously lucky. So I do owe the leader's gods a bit of a salute over here. So I could even pull the royal guard off my leader, but I don't think I need to do that. I think we'll step forward with the claw. I still do not want my bruiser getting manipulated by this manipulator who's just been sitting here. So we'll just, I mean, is there some way I can cheat the system? Nah, I think what I want to do is just move up with the claw and pull my bruiser across the line. So that's what I'm going to do. So we'll do this. I just need to double check if my opponent has some weird way of winning. The royal guard cannot jump this turn. I don't think I need to move my leader. I think my leader's fine where he is. Like, there's no reason to tuck him in. I prefer to play with a more centralized leader. I can even move up. That might be a little bit frisky. Let's end the action phase. And we're going to spawn the jailer in one of these two locations. I'm not sure which is better. I'm not sure if it matters necessarily. Here I could pull it up with the claw, but not this turn. Here I have the option to put my leader down and move the jailer in for some extra safety. So yeah, I'll do that. I don't know if there was a correct... Oh god, the Wanderer! Jesus Christ. Okay, so now my opponent can swoop in with the Wanderer as well. However, I have to say, I've been okay with my opponents having the Wanderer, and I've been a little bit less enamored of the Wanderer myself. Still a great character, but the thing is, the Wanderer cannot, by definition, use their special ability to end the turn adjacent to the enemy leader, and that is extremely significant. Like, the Acrobat can use their special ability to be near the leader, so can the Royal Guard. But the Wanderer cannot. So I'm okay with my opponent having the Wanderer because it's a little bit easier to stop yourself from getting checkmated with the enemy Wanderer. Because with the enemy Wanderer, at least, you know, okay, unless they like jump to a spot and a claw pulls them in or something, which my opponent doesn't have, this cannot be a checkmating piece if it cannot move into a hex adjacent to your leader. So we got a little lucky here with the draft. My opponent has a pretty strong group. The Acrobat, the Guard are very aggressive, but my opponent did have to kind of take this sort of mediocrity, whereas every single thing I got thanks to the top decks has been super strong. The Illusionist, Claw, Jailer, I think these were all top decks, so I mean, I'm very, very happy about my drafting luck in this case. And so now I think we can go on the offensive, because it's really just the Royal Guard and the Acrobat trying to checkmate my king. I should be able to slip away from them while threatening enough pressure with my, you know, visible range people. So yeah, my plan, I think, is to move with the leader down, put the jailer here, and then I'll move the jailer up, and then the leader behind, and the Acrobat can't jump over that. It's really just a question of if I'm ever going to get my bruiser somewhere. Oh, maybe I should have not moved the bruiser up if I was going to pull it in with the claw. Yeah, I think I messed up. Because I could pull the Illusionist in with the claw. But that's not that great, really, to do. So it would have made more sense, I think, to actually keep the bruiser here and then pull the claw up. And but no, we're a turn away from doing that. But I could have even kept the bruiser here and pulled it in, although of course the Royal Guard could intercept. The manipulator finally moves. Okay. So you have to always be very careful, because now that there's a line to my leader, I need to be watchful since the manipulator can actually do stuff. So I'm guessing my opponent's going to take the Wanderer here and try to jump in with the Royal Guard and Wanderer and just checkmate me. But there's, you know, there's definitely counterplay on my end. Because if my opponent doesn't take the Protector, which they didn't, then there's nothing stopping my Bruiser from getting next to their leader in a lot of cases. And that can make it possible for me to just get one piece up to the leader and then win. And they don't have the Vizier, so they're not slippery or anything. Okay, so I could move up with the Claw, swap the Claw with the Illusionist, but that doesn't really accomplish anything. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. Okay, one thing I'm pretty sure I'm doing is I'm going here to stop the Royal Guard from coming back. And I am also tucking my leader away here. That seems reasonable. I think it's a very logical choice also to just go in with the Bruiser. Now the Wanderer can be very aggressive, jumping in here or here. And I think I'm okay with it. I could do like a passive move with the Illusionist to stop it from going here. Oh man, am I underestimating this? Could I just lose with the Wanderer and the Royal Guard surrounding my leader? Oh man, I think maybe I actually underestimated that. Because if I'm not threatening checkmate, which I'm not, and my opponent is, I could end up in some pretty serious trouble. But if the Wanderer jumps here, I can run in here, and I can actually be okay for a while doing that. I think what I'm going to do... Let's see, say the Royal Guard moves here. And the Wanderer jumps there. How actually... Oh yeah, I just go under the Royal Guard. It's not super enticing. I could leave the Illusionist here. And then I could move my leader here and swap. It's like a defensive use of the Illusionist. Of course, if the Acrobat goes here... Okay. Yeah, we're just going to centralize the Claw. And... I guess I need to leave the Illusionist where he is for safety. Although if the Wanderer goes here and the Royal Guard goes here, but if they do that, well, see, say the Royal Guard goes here, Wanderer goes here, I move my leader here, and then the Acrobat jumps over this Claw that I just put here. Uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, I hate putting the Claw here because it can be manipulated. But if the Wanderer goes here and the Royal Guard goes here and the Acrobat's here, it's actually going to be a problem because I can't swap with my leader in that case to get him out of dodge. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of a passive move. We're going to actually pull the Royal Guard here to stop the Royal Guard from getting into this square. And we're going to then... put my Illusionist up like this. The Wanderer can still jump here, but then I can swap potentially with my leader because he's not blocking line of sight. I don't have a whole lot of confidence this is actually a good position for me. This Acrobat turning up for my opponent was a very good top deck for them, but I've had some good top decks as well, so I do think this one's going to just be mostly coming down to skill. So my opponent can go here with the Wanderer and approach with the Royal Guard from the other side. But my Bruiser is finally here in time to block the Manipulator. And then I can actually put my leader right here, next to the Wanderer, opposite the Royal Guard, and kind of just dance around my Jailer. While my Claw maybe can start stepping in, although I did miss the chance to step in with my Claw last time, so I'm a little bit behind on my own aggression. But the fact that the Bruiser is one of the pieces coming towards the enemy leader is a big advantage, because eventually it means that the leader isn't going to be able to dance around. Ah, my opponent pulls back with the Royal Guard. That's very interesting. Oh, it's to do a jump with the... Oh, I didn't actually see that move. Good move. Good move. I did not actually see that move coming. That was pretty impressive. And now it's actually good positioning too, because now my Jailer can't be next to both the Royal Guard and the Acrobat. So I can, stop one but not the other. This is a clever move actually, because now if my Bruiser steps in to block this column, the Manipulator can move the Bruiser, whereas the Manipulator wouldn't have been able to do that from here. So at this situation, as my Claw steps in, what I'm guessing my opponent's going to be doing is moving their leader into the Claw. Well, first of all, let me not bury the lead here. Basically, to stop checkmate, I need to cash out this resource and get my leader the heck out of there. I also need to pick who I'm jailing, and I think I want to jail the Royal Guard because I don't want the Royal Guard to be able to jump back. I'm more concerned about that than I am about the acrobat doing jumps. So we're going to do this. Now the Royal Guard is stuck here. And now, okay, let's continue the train of thought. If I put the bruiser here, the manipulator can push it, which I'm not a huge fan of. I can even push the Royal Guard here if I want, but again, the bruiser can still get pushed. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play into that a little bit. We'll go here to cut the leader off from running in this direction. And then I just have to think very carefully about how I want to use the claw. I could even pull the bruiser in here, but I'm not sure that's good, because then the leader will just go this way. Right, I don't think we want that. So I believe I step in with the claw. The leader will go here, and then I go here, which is extremely threatening. So as long as I can just like avoid being checkmated next turn thanks to simple distance from the acrobat, then I'm in good shape. Although, oh man, this acrobat can actually jump real close to my leader using the Wanderer and my Illusionist. I didn't think about that. Oops. Oh gosh. Okay, so where do I want my leader to be? Here seems like it's the furthest away from the most pieces. Alright, we'll try it. Could be wrong about this, and if so, then, you know, then I lose the game. But yeah, I didn't notice this jump. There may have been a way that I could have avoided it. Well, yeah, the way would have been to put the jailer near the acrobat. Then let the Royal Guard come back and be defensive. But I think that actually is better than letting the acrobat be over here. Because I was counting on the acrobat being on this side. So that could be the move that definitely loses me the game, is letting the acrobat jump over here. I have a feeling my opponent's going to undo this move as they think about it more, because the acrobat blocking the Illusionist doesn't really matter too much, since the leader can just get out of the way and be perfectly safe. But the acrobat being near my leader makes it really, really difficult for me to not die. Since I basically have no defense, I'm just in open space here. Okay, so my opponent's trying to cut my leader off from the other side. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's good. Now that they've moved this Wanderer, the undo button can only undo that move. So this acrobat is here. So I guess it's just a question of, do I think that I'm correct, that this acrobat should have moved over? Or is the acrobat actually more important here as a defensive resource blocking the line to my Illusionist? Okay, so my opponent's doing a pretty clever move here. The Royal Guard here means I have to step into this column with my jailer if I want to stop the Royal Guard from teleporting back, but then the manipulator can push it out of the way. Oh, you know what? I think my opponent's actually in a lot more trouble than I realized. I made a mistake in calculating my opponent's defenses. This is actually, this is a classic thing that you need to be aware of that I wasn't even aware of. Well, because I was saying when I move my claw here, my opponent's going to be next to the claw and be safe. My opponent's actually not safe, however, because I just step up with the bruiser, and then the claw pulls the bruiser in for the win. You really, really need to be aware of this particular tactic. I've lost to it so many times, and even myself, I wasn't aware of it as it was actually possible for me to win with it. Now, my opponent actually then was in really bad shape, much worse than I realized, because they couldn't jump back for protection with the Royal Guard. Had the Royal Guard been able to park here, that would have changed everything, but he couldn't because of the jailer that I top-decked. And if the manipulator had stepped in to block the bruiser, it wasn't a block because the bruiser can just push it. So the bruiser was guaranteed to get into this square, and the claw would pull in. I actually don't know how my opponent was supposed to not get checkmated there. I wish I had noticed that sooner. I could have thought about it more and given some better commentary, but as it is, yeah, my opponent actually was in pretty bad shape just with the claw and the bruiser nearby. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. This is pretty exciting. I think now I'm the one learning how to be Houdini in this game.